Alright. We're good. Okay. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back for another episode of the Anime Lately podcast for episode 75, and we're here for the Thanksgiving special, and we're going to talk about with our guest GD Legend, and we have here back Aniki Smash here once again, and we've been talking about what's great in the news and what's going on with everything else. So let's get to it. Hit the intro.
To another episode of the Anime Lately podcast. I'm your host, Sam the Manga Man, and here with me are my Botakus. Introducing first, the handsome demon in the Black Clover community. He man with a great love for Weekly Shonen Jump, the Hurricane Typhoon, Legend Vash, the Nutter Butter Lover, the wholesome partner, the man who watched 6 episodes of Hunter x Hunter. Give it up for Miguel Parra. And now, our special guest. We are blessed again to have him here on our podcast again, sharing more of his wisdoms and gospel of My Hero Academia, that pastor you know who has great manga taste. You best believe that his words would not lead you astray. Brothers and sisters of the chat, please rise for the Church of My Hero Academia's pastor, Aniki Smash! And finally, our last special guest of the evening. For the first time ever on the Anime Lately podcast, we got the master of the anime villain laughters, the #1 Bokuto Stenner. He ain't a huge fan of Zoro, but he is for Sanji, the king who fights like Black Panther and hustles like Kobe. He is the future Hall of Famer of anime YouTuber. We finally got a real legend in the show. Give it up, chat. Please, chat. Welcome, JD Legend. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. How your lungs?
I was going to ask, like, that was a lot of O's, a lot of L's out there. Damn.
A lot of N's. But that was dope, though. That was dope. I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Always love the energy.
That's what he's known for. That's what I like. Guess always telling like, hey, nice intro. You know, good job on that.
Project Manga said 6 episodes. Yeah, I know, right? Only 6 episodes of Hunter x Hunter. What happened to you getting live, Miguel?
I'm a busy man. I have clients and stuff to do. I'm planning to one day finish watching Hunter x Hunter. Hopefully by the end of the year 2021, I will definitely finish watching that show. So I'm really
said 2021.
Hey, you know, when you're a busy man trying to build something and also have clients to work for, you know, you're busy sometimes.
Nah, I know. I'm just gonna mess with you a little.
But yeah, guys, one day welcome. I'll probably finish Hunter x Hunter before Togashi writes one more chapter.
You know, it really breaks my spirit that
right.
You know
you just made a whole silent thing
because it's just like the fact that Hunter x Hunter is doing this. Like, I don't understand. Like, how can Berserk come back and then Hunter x Hunter still not come back when he's writing currently what I think has the potential to be the greatest manga arc of all time, and he's just like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go play Dragon Quest. Like, how can this happen?
I'm not gonna lie, that's really facts. I mean, this entire year, only like Berserk came back with at least 3 chapters this year, and Hunter x Hunter is still 0.
I think everybody's big question is like, how do you know with 100% certainty that you have a wife that can sit in the chair and draw the manga for you while you do the storyboard and they get the plotting done, and just be like, nah. Literally just nah. All he's done is just nah. Like, no excuse. I don't understand. You can hire artists. He's got the bread. You know, we know he's got the bread.
We know like,
his wife drew Sailor Moon.
Like technically, his wife is not retired either. Like, she's not retired either. Like, she could also continue to like draw, and I think she is still drawing and other stuff for other mangas and stuff like that. But I agree. Like, Togashi should have just give us a real ending, or at least give us a light novel, something, anything.
A light
Please.
novel would be perfect for him because every time I'm told about the manga, people say that he writes paragraphs or something about essays. So
He does.
I think that would be perfect for him. Something about a light novel where he don't even have to draw, just write the story. I think that would be perfect for him. I can't speak from experience since I don't, watch the series yet or read it, so I can't speak. But for most people, I hear that he writes a lot, so that'd be perfect for him.
I think that he would be fine, and I don't think the story would necessarily suffer for being swapped into like a novel format. But I think the fact that we've had it be a graphic novel to translate it and switch over to like just a straight book for the most part, I don't think that would sit well with a lot of fans. I don't know how you feel about that, JD.
Repeat the question.
How do you feel about
Hunter x Hunter moreover switching over to like a novel style, like just book with like a couple pictures, like novel?
I don't know, man. The sad thing about it is that you kind of thrive on the character designs that Togashi comes up with, because think about what we would get from the Dark Continent arc that we're at now, right? And I don't know how to say his name. I think it's like Suderic or whatever, right? The Fourth Prince.
I've been saying Sarandish.
Whatever his name is. Can you imagine not seeing what his Nen Beast look like? Can you imagine not understanding the absolute terror that you get from seeing that Nen Beast? Because that Nen Beast to this day scares the life out of me. So like visually, Hunter x Hunter is exceptional, and to lose the visuals of the story, I think would be a travesty, personally, in my opinion. I don't know if I would be able to accept it.
I can definitely see that, because like we had the whole family that has like multiple children and shit, and they're supposed to have the whole 12 zodiacs of everybody having their own Nen Beasts.
Yes.
And yet, like, all right, we're anticipating, wondering of who the first son's Nen Beast of his own, but we've seen like, I think it was the second son or the third son to Nen Beast, and it's already OP. And this guy is a prodigy as well. Like within like a few days, he knows how to use Nen. In the next couple of days, he got his Nen Beast, and just like literally he has the abilities where no one can lie to him, or else they die. Like there's a way to go around that, but in the same time, it's like still that's kind of OP. You have a whole lie detector that could kill you if you lie.
And then look at the moment too when that happened, when you figure that out. Like it's like there's a lot of panels where there's no dialogue. Well, not a lot, but there's panels that have no dialogue. But that specific moment with his Nen Beast and the lady that was training him, and if you look, the Nen Beast is looking directly at her, and just looking at how grotesque the Nen Beast is, it opens his mouth and there's like another little monster coming out of its mouth to see if she's lying. You generally feel the fear and the threat of that Nen Beast, where it's like, yo, if I lie, it's over. Like I'm completely finished. Like there's no chance. So like Togashi's way of conveying the fear, the threat level, the understanding that if I do lie, something horrible is going to happen to me. Like I feel like we just can't afford to lose something like that with Hunter x Hunter, and it'd be a novel.
Definitely, for sure. And like especially with like the main character for this story is technically Kurappa, and everybody like likes, he's more interesting than what we see with Gone and stuff like that too. So I don't know, it could be the most peak, it could be a potential peak arc if only Togashi continues this. Like at least give us something. Like,
and I would even argue that he's already started off extremely well. Like the things he's written so far have been excellent. Everyone's loved it. Nobody's had any complaints. So
Dr. Dawn Freaks review. Even we had the matchup that we'd all been waiting the whole series for. Basically, it happened even before like the Dark Continent. So like that stuff was all great. And then because I kind of like caught up, like watch Hunter x Hunter, caught up, and then it was like, oh, okay,
manga time.
Well, there'll be some chapters eventually. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But I mean, it's cool. We got the whole Hisoka versus Lucifer fight. But then, like, I mean, if the animators want to give us, just at least show us that, like, animate that fight alone to see, like, how, not that Hisoka is just only strong, but also, like, smart and very manipulative. Like, the twist. Nobody would believe the twists in the characters that happen to the spiders. Maybe, like, they don't want to show, like, like the twists of who's still alive, kind of thing, like almost like a Game of Thrones and stuff. Who knows?
So, like, my thing with Hisoka is I think that I do think that specifically what he does with that Lucifer fight and like how he handles it like towards the end, I think that's something that I feel like the anime only community deserves to get to see, because that's like something that's kind of talked about, like the different usages of Nen in that particular context. And like there's one example of within the series that is obvious, but I think that like just kind of seeing it being used for more than just offense would be a nice thatch, and like something that'll add a little flavor to people's understanding of Nen better. Like even if the anime did write an okay, and then where Gon and Jing have that conversation,
I can't wait to catch up to Hunter x Hunter so I can understand this whole Nan talk, because I don't know what it is, and hopefully by next year I can actually finish watching the show, because I've heard a lot of people talk about Nan. That's one of the best power systems throughout the whole anime and the manga community. Like I heard that's the best type of power system. Like I heard Project Manga always gives high praise about it as well. So I'm really curious to see how I get attracted to the whole power system once I see it, and hopefully I do understand it in one go as well, because I heard that it gets a bit confusing after, but it gets explained very well.
I would argue that it's probably the best power system.
It's well balanced.
Yeah, I think the thing about Nen is the fact that you know that someone can be overpowered, but at the same time, there's still a way to win if you have a mastery of your specific type of Nen. There's Nen that seems more advantageous, but based on the user, your form of Nen could be extremely powerful if you have the right intelligence, the right experience, adaptability. There's many different factors that go into Nen. So it's not just about, oh, my Nen is bigger than yours. No, it's more of my application of my Nen is smarter and more adaptable. And me as a person, I am a better combatant in terms of not just strength, but everything that goes into it. Plus my Nen usage is like everything just ties together. And I think that's why Nen is such a good power system. It's like amazing.
Like, I agree.
Nen is very much gated by the mental capacity of the wielder. And I think it's a series that, and like a power system that more than any other power system, like, people will say that Stans and JoJo are reminiscent of like personality, but I think Nen is far more in that department where as people develop their abilities and you see them like level up and do their how-tos and what those ultimately like special abilities are reflective of are always things that tie in with like some aspect of what they've been through or what they feel like is essential or a core part of who they are as a person. So it's like, how can I best apply myself overall, period, as a person in every capacity to win? And so whoever is more aware of their abilities and their limits and the ways it can be applied, and then takes that same flexibility and applies it to their opponent's abilities to make sure they don't get caught out, is usually the one who wins. And that's kind of like what makes Nen so great, is that it's an actual chess match of ability of not only understanding yourself, but your opponent.
Agree, because like Nen has like a limit, like from based on your own person, your personality, and the whole ability to how far you've unlocked your own Nen and your abilities and your strengths and limits. And like everybody has their own Nen, but also has their own rules and their like weaknesses and restrictions of what they can do. Like, yeah, they can win a fight, but what's going to cause what you might have to do in the future might strain you right now because of this fight and for your next battle, kind of thing. I like that. Like, there's got to be a limit where you're not just OP, you just kill this guy, no consequences, no restrictions, and you're just good for the next opponent, and you're even more strong than you were before, kind of thing. It's like, no, like this has limits where there's rules where you're not going to be the same person as every fight. You're never going to be the same as well level powered as the previous fight than you will in the next fight, in that sort of way. And I like that about Hunter x Hunter.
The way you guys are talking about the rules and everything, the power system, it kind of reminds me of the current new series on Jump, Undead Unlock, which it kind of reminds me of the whole power system. Jay, have you read that series yet?
I've heard it's good, but I've not read it yet.
I do recommend it's very good, and it kind of reminds me of the whole power system with the rules and Aniki, like you could agree with that, right? Because you read
So
both series and everything with that.
Hunter x Hunter and Undead Unluck, I think they do have strong similarities. Like Jujutsu Kaisen is closer to Hunter x Hunter, but the thing is that with certain abilities in like Hunter x Hunter, you have that. Well, if I crank my like arm like this, then it'll after I crank it up, it'll have a certain amount of charges, and then that will allow me to do more damage. And that's similar to how Andy has like where if he focuses the extra amount of calcium in his body towards his fingers before he like cuts his fingers so that they can heal, and then the healing of that finger pushes the old fingertip away as a bullet type. So it's very much you go for the same levels of chain of effect with these abilities. It's just you have to be willing to like think about them in all these different applications. Like Andy is using regeneration for super speed by effectively like damaging and regrowing his legs at high speed so that it propels him hard. And then like those damaged legs get replaced by other like undamaged legs, and he just like keeps using that for like frog hops or whatever. So like you have these kinds of convoluted applications of ability that I think kind of are reminiscent of Hunter x Hunter. It's just that Jujutsu Kaisen is like a little more in line because it's got like the mystical aspect and there's like the conjurations and stuff like that. But even in Undead Unluck, I'm sure we're going to see some of that too coming.
Okay, that's cool. Because Miguel brought this up to me before with the whole Andy's like Wolverine and Huko is like Rogue. And then I'm thinking, there's some similarities. I can definitely see it because if you were thinking Undead Unlock world universe, it's almost like X-Men. Like there are people who are mutants and have their own abilities and powers into this world. And how we see X-Men in the Marvel universe, like the power system right there is actually not as bad. Pretty well balanced system right there. And that's the same kind of power system I kind of hope for Undead Unlock.
I do agree that because the more you find out about your own power, the more you could do with it. It's just like how Project Manga said it in the chat, like what type of limitations will you have? And that's what I find interesting about anime and manga. Like they really explore out of the realm of our own possibilities. So that's what I kind of really like about storytelling and everything.
But yeah, guys, this is a Thanksgiving episode for sure, and like we usually start with what kind of mangas or anime we've been watching currently, but I think we should start with like what anime and mangas we are thankful for this year. Although this year has not been like the greatest year for almost everybody right now, we could still be thankful for like the stuff that we have now and that we were given this year. So Jay, Anki, do you have anything anime or manga that you really appreciate that you're thankful for this year?
So I would say, for me, I don't know if you guys would classify this as anime and manga. I kind of do.
Okay, that's fine. Doesn't need to be that.
Castlevania on Netflix.
Ooh, yeah, Castlevania's been great.
Man, when I'm telling you, bro, Castlevania is so good. It's like it's rare that you get. Let me not say it's rare, but it's so refreshing to see a dub that hits so much. Like it just slaps. Like I don't want sub. Don't ever sub Castlevania, please, because it's excellent. Like my man Isaac, like his story, Isaac is my goal, like without question. So like Castlevania season 3 was a revelation. I just watched Dorohedoro actually on Netflix as well.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Really good. I was very happy that I watched that. I really enjoyed Dorohedoro. Ray Zero season 2.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? That was great. So there's been a lot of good things as well. And then I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying the Jujutsu Kaisen anime a lot. Nice. So I think it's just nice to really be able to find some new series to pay attention to outside of the basic, My Hero, One Piece, everyone's like Black Clover, all this other stuff like that. Like there's been a lot of good new anime coming out. And then also another thing I had mentioned, Ace of Diamond Act 2, I think came out this year too.
It was, yeah.
I'm a huge Ace of Diamond stan.
That
like, it's actually it's getting to the point where I might be getting a little bit overwhelming with it because now it's like I've completely forgotten One Piece. It's just all Ace of Diamond. Watch Ace of Diamond, like, please.
It's that sports anime. It's that sports anime inspiration, motivation kind of thing.
And the wildest
is that your favorite?
Yes, it is my favorite sports anime, and I don't even like baseball. Imagine that. I don't like baseball. Wow. Ace of Diamond. And I've watched Ippo. I love Ippo. I've read the manga. I'm like maybe 200 chapters behind. Haikyuu, I finished the Haikyuu manga this year I'm still putting Ace of Diamond over it, and I
Really?
don't think it's close.
That's okay.
It's not close.
That's
to
okay.
me, it's not close.
I've
Love Ace of Diamond.
I've heard a lot of people put Haiku much higher over Ace of Diamond, but I heard that both of those N plus Equal are top 3 in sports manga. Like I heard that a lot of people love those 3. Like it just goes between those 3.
It's easily. That's those 3, and I don't think any. I mean, Slam Dunk if you want to be like a hipster, but honestly, it's the 3. It's those 3 that are at the top.
And I know that you're a big soccer fan, or technically for us Spanish heads is football. Do you read any soccer mangas? Because I know there's a few out there.
See, my problem is I grew up with the sport. I am a Liverpool supporter. I've been watching this since I'm a child. I watched the World Cup, Champions League, La Liga, Serie A, Ligue 1, Bundesliga. I know it all. So, like, for me, mangas is not going to work for me. Manga, anime, it just does not work. I'm sorry. I can't do it. No matter what they tell me, no matter how, it's like there's too many things that I'm looking for. There's so many intricate parts of the sport that I would want to see that I'm pretty sure I'm just not going to see in an anime because they over sensationalize, aspects of the sport, which I just don't need. I just don't need to see it. Like I don't need to see you kick a ball and the goalkeeper flies back into the net. I'm not here for that. I'm not here to see it.
That sounds like Shaolin soccer right
that's
there.
That's what I'm saying. It does. Like Blue Lock and you feel like I'm gonna kill you. Nah, I don't need to see that. I don't.
You saying you love soccer so much. You're such a purist that like all anime can do is defile it.
That's all. Yes. I mean, I may be wrong, and I'm perfectly fine with being wrong. But like for me, I can't do it. I'll never do it.
That's understanding. But
That's
I'm on a different boat because I love soccer. I grew up with soccer with my brother and everything. So he's a big fan of soccer. So I got into it as well, playing FIFA with him and everything else. Big Barcelona fan and Manchester United and everything. So
I'm sorry for your loss.
Everybody says that. Everybody says that.
They're having an off time. They've been having an off time recently, so I get it. But Blue Lock is one series I don't understand what's going on with that series because with the most recent chapter I saw with the current stuff, I don't know what's going on there. But the only thing I was interested to read about Blue Lock is because the art, like the art's cool. But then when I read some of the chapters, it's like, what the fuck is going on with this series? So I'm like, nah, I can't do this.
Bro,
I mean, I don't read Blue Lock.
Manga got kids getting electrocuted and like what?
Wait, what?
Yo, a whole dude was like.
He got the whole all-for-one treatment.
He was all handcuffed and everything, just strapped. I'm like,
straight jacket in the top right there ain't moving. Like, wait, what?
Like, what kind of series is this? Like, this will be all soccer. Where the hell soccer went to?
It's not that deep. Like, it's just not that deep, you know?
I mean, I can understand if it's like maybe rugby or something because it get very violent and people have died by playing rugby before. But has anybody really died in a soccer field
in South America?
Someone has.
I'm about to say, like, hasn't it been in the recent, like, in the whole soccer league? I think two people have died in the whole 100 years of everything.
Someone collapsed on the field. His name was M. Vivian Foe, played for Man City. He collapsed on the field and he later died. And then someone named Cheick Tiote died of heart failure, not in a match. But he collapsed during a training incident, and I think it was like a heart failure or something like that. Those are the two people I know.
Okay, then. Okay, it can get violent. It can get very violent, but something that can like, execute him as an electric chair, though.
But thing is, soccer is just, I remember those kicks are flying fast. Those people are running at high speed. Like people don't understand. Like just because it's going from one goal to one goal, there's a lot more to it. I just hate when people just say that it's not that hard, but like there's a lot of things going to soccer. The way you have to dribble the ball and everything at the same time, running, trying to go and kick. There's a lot more things to it.
Cool. Anything else, Jay? Thankful for?
So I did catch up with JoJo this year. JoJo Part 5 was good. Right?
Okay,
that was good. I can't really think of any other new series that I've really delved into this year. Some people would be thankful for Wano and One Piece. For me, Wano has been okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I think people vastly overhype Wano. Like there's moments in Wano where I have gotten hype, yes, but overall, nah.
It's still in my top 5 for 2020.
Yeah. Nah. So overall, I think that's about it. I think I've covered just about everything.
Cool.
Yeah.
Aniki?
So for me, like first off, like we've gotten like Mashal, Undead, and Lux. So I'm kind of like just grateful like we've had some good new series come out this year in Jump as far as like discussing manga wise, and then Jujutsu Kaisen's anime came out like Jay mentioned, and we got a really good adaptation actually, which offsets the fact that Mappa also gave us the out of high school adaptation this year, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, it's not talking about that. Yeah,
we're talking about things we appreciate.
Why did they cut so much? I'm so mad.
I've been very appreciative of Jigoku Raku. I've been spamming it in the fleets and the tweets, telling people to read Jigoku Raku for like the past week, but it's a really good series just on the Jump Plus, So it's like, and it's 18 plus, so it's not even on the app, so people aren't like seeing it when they go on their phones, whatever. But like, it's just been such a good series with like the emotional stakes have been there. It's been like delivering every week that it, like every chapter I've had this year, I've just been like really happy with. So like, and that's besides like My Hero and all that other stuff that's been going on. Like, just it's been a stellar ride, and I think there's been a lot of good manga in general that came out this year. So, or maybe it isn't that like Wano hasn't been like that great. Maybe I've just been reading enough stuff that's been outperforming it. Like Vinland Saga, like I started that this year. That was great. Like to watch the anime, then catch up on the manga. Just all around good stories. So I've been having like a great year for just getting to indulge in manga and anime as a whole. And then leveling up and enjoying and coming together in this community too. I think especially like translating that to the AniTube sphere, like meeting you guys, like, JD, we had you on for the Avatar The Last Airbender stream, just different conversations that we're just getting to have that opportunity, getting the greatest manga stream in 2020 with Roger. So like this year's just been manga and anime. It's just been good to me all around. So I just nothing but good vibes.
Cool.
And plus, I'm happy how Jay brought up about Castlevania. Powerhouse Studio did a great job with Powerhouse with the whole Castlevania. I can't wait for season 4. Right now they're currently working on it, and I can't wait to see what they do with it next year when it drops. Because I love that series. I love the whole story of Dracula and all they have done. But season 3 was definitely my favorite season. And they keep improving, so I'm happy that other people are also talking about Castlevania because it's worth it.
So, question: y'all think Hector gonna redeem himself finally?
I don't know. Is like Hector?
I prefer Isaac much more. I already prefer Isaac much more during the season 3 and.
Because Hector's a bitch. And honestly, at the end, like he got mind control through sex in there. They're like.
That's what I'm saying. Like I was telling people, I had the longest and most aggressive rant about this man, Hector. Like, how dare
I would have joined you.
How dare you be dissatisfied with your situation? How dare you?
Right?
Like you got people that can kill you by blinking, and you getting cheeks, and all you got to do is do what she says and get cheeks at the same time, and you get a house. Like, how could you be upset? I don't understand. I don't know, man.
I'm mad at him because he was ungrateful. He's like, wait a minute, you use me? And they're like, yes, they are vampires that could technically kill you, and you just got used. And he's mad at them. I'm like, my dude, Jay literally said how it is. Like, he getting cheeks, he getting his own place, and all he has to do is just do the job for her. Yes, he's going to probably kill other humans at the same time, but he's going to live.
Which he was down to do anyway. He was already down to do that. That's what he signed up for when he was with Dracula. So what you talking about murdering people now? Right. At least Carmilla not beating your ass no more. Like, think about that. He could be getting stomped out by like Svetlana right now, and instead he's getting cheeks. Like, bro, do you want the beating and to still do it, or do you want the cheeking and to still do it? Like, which one is it?
And like your middle ground is like being in prison and being treated like a dog, like straight up, like just take the cheeks, like whatever, just take the cheeks.
I do agree with the comment that she is mad manipulative. That's very true. But at the same time, she also was trying to convince her other sisters, hey, I could do my own shit. You don't need to tell me what to do. I could hold my ground. So she had to do what she had to do, get her hands dirty, but she got the job done. She came at the end of the season and said, look, he's my bitch. He could do what he can do for us now. Now you guys cannot look down on me, because she felt like she was getting down by her sisters, but now she can't.
She wasn't really down, like being like treated like horribly among her sisters, and like we just know like she's the type of person that like has a lot of empathy for like people underneath her pets and her like everything like that. Like that's how she is as a person. But you have to think about it. Those are the kind of people that are like good at manipulating people to do what they want you to do without the whole making them thinking they are being tricked and the whole manipulative and like it's like you make them want to do it instead of I controlled you and now you're doing it. Yeah, she ended up collaring him, and like now I got to the point where I can do whatever I can control you and you can do whatever I want you to do, or else like die consequences whatever. But
I just feel like we're at a point where it's just like you got to think about the situation we're in. You were butt ass naked in a cage, barely any food, and they're freezing you on purpose. No socks, no shoes, nothing. This girl comes along, gives you socks, clothes, shoes, a blanket, lets you clap, and says, "Listen, you're my pet now," and you have the nerve in the situation you're at to complain. I don't want to hear it. I don't care about your independence, your freedom, nothing. It's gone. You're surrounded by vampires. If you escape, you die. There's no other way to survive but be with them. And the fact that she's even letting you, and she said, you know what? You weren't that good, but we're going to train you to be better. I'm like, no, she is literally telling you that we are going to train you so you can have better sex with me. And you still complaining. No, Hector's in the mud. He's trash. I don't want to hear it. There's no justification.
Like pouring water on them. Like they were
literally cold water. Aniki.
You would let them freeze the whole icicle on his whole entire body. That was ridiculous. That was messed up.
That's why I was like, y'all think he gonna do something to like redeem himself finally? Like get it together, bro. Because
Hector was like the moment he saw the mirror, it's like, ha! He got what he deserved. That's why I was like, yeah, I know.
I love how Isaac was just laughing at the like, ha! You deserve that. I'm glad. I'm gonna come there and still get you.
I didn't feel bad for him at all.
Nope.
Not even a little. I was like, okay.
You know who I felt a little bad for?
Alucard. I felt bad for him.
I feel bad.
Oh yeah, they did him dirty.
They did it.
Yeah, okay.
When he started crying, I said, oh nah. I said, oh nah.
But then what was sad at the end is when he put the bodies at the end. Sorry, at the front of the house. I was like, damn, something is dead.
He's going straight down the path his daddy did. That's it
really
hurt my spirit.
It's like imagine like you let a man, you feeding him, you clothing him,
y'all have friends, and what do you do?
Like, all of a sudden,
sexually abuse me, and then try to kill me. Like, what's happening here?
Yo, I was hyped. I was hyped for him. Yo, threesome. I'm like, all right, cool, we're gonna see this. But then they said, no, we about to kill you. I'm like, yo, how do you do this? All because he was just a sweet little boy.
He was willing to help you, save you, get stronger, at least protect your entire village, your town, country, whatever. And you just literally have a knife in his neck and literally trapped him in vines and literally about to kill him. Even though the guy's like, please don't do this. Don't make me do this. He even warned you so many times before you got ganked. Like, come on.
Now, be honest with me. During that whole scene in that moment, you was like, okay, the girl, oh, she's pretty. That's great. When you saw the dude get naked too and come in, I said, whoa, hold on a minute, player. I was the first that came to my mind. I said, wait a minute.
I was like, what if this is what Alucard's into? Like,
I was like, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't think he was into that. That's what I'm saying. I think he just didn't know what was going on.
That was my expression too. And I was watching with my girl. And my girl was like, wait, what are we watching again? I'm like, we're not watching a hentai, we're watching Castlevania. I did not switch the controller when he went to the bathroom. She was like, hold up, but what's he doing? I'm like, he doesn't even know what he's doing. He just going with the flow.
I don't think he knows what he likes. That's what I'm saying. He just didn't know.
Like, okay. What I was going to say, though, was Sifa, or whatever her name is.
Silva, yeah.
Just because... she thought it was sweet. Like, she genuinely was like, we've been helping people. We've been out here just saving the day. Look at us. It's been months. We took down Dracula. She's been riding like a 6-month high. And then you get to that last episode and the secrets of the village start coming out. And it's like, oh, that's how he was moving.
Vermont knew he felt bad that she was gonna see the truth of the world, and he was waiting for that, but he didn't know when was the right time, and he felt bad because she has a good heart. She has a lion's heart, her heart is very pure, But the more she finds out about how dark the world is and how cruel it is, no matter how you can control it, she's gonna change, and she's gonna not change in a bad way, but she's just gonna be less to help others, just like him, where he just doesn't want to help anybody he sees, but she's the one that bring that good side out of him because of his family name, which I did feel bad for, but he's the one that's like, damn, well, this is how the world is. It's cruel, but what can you do though?
That's like literally the summary of my season 3.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
Me
like,
of
it's that
Castlevania.
last line where she's like, well, what happened? And he was like, it's simple. We were living your life. And then she's like, well, then what? He's like, no, we live mine. And it's like, done. And I'm like, that's hard.
Because like people ain't shit. Like there are people like that. It's just, and they both Safi and Alucard had to realize that the hard way, and just whatever the person you become right now after that moment is gonna be the more darker deciding factor of what's gonna happen next season.
But what did he get out of it? I just want to know, like, what was the thrill? Like, why? You know, like the little kid just, you know, he said go get an apple, and all of a sudden you send him to his death. I'm like, that is just.
Like some of them, you could tell he.
I don't even have the best answer to that. Like,
that's what I'm saying. We didn't even get like a motivation. Like, was he sick in the head? No, he just.
No, that part was shown that he was sick in the head. Like, he's a person that it showed, but it was very subtle and so small. But it showed that he was sick in the head. Like,
you can see the piece of his own village where everybody needs to do what he needs to do, or clean, like decisive, like the whole proper and everything, that sort of thing. Which, yeah, he is. That kind of whole sick in the head where everything needs to be perfect. The whole PTS, the whole what's that term called? Where you want everything.
OCD.
OCD.
But the thing is, though, is that he was also actually, like, as you know, is being mentioned in the chat right now, a pedophile.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Was he? Oh, necrophilia.
Yeah, that's that's why he was keeping the shoes as trophies.
Correct.
No, the shoes, yes, but how is it necrophilia
He said
if there's no body?
They're implying that he might have taken him out the pit too for that. But I think that he was like handling business.
They
They
did imply that he had the back of his house. Vermont at the end said like, I'm not gonna check the back of your house. He said something about you should or something like that, because he had the shoes as a trophy to show the proof of himself and everything like that. So it was implied and everything. It just wasn't more shown or more in that realm.
Wow. Okay, but there wasn't it wasn't just kids back there too, right? There was also older. There was older people, right?
Yeah, they were like. I think they were like trying to say that it wasn't just boys; it was also like girls as well, and like younger kids, that's teens and that sort of way. That's why they keep saying like, "How come there's no like kids or barely any teens in this village and stuff like that?" And like, I'm like beginning to say, like, this village had none the wiser of what happened. Nobody had like kids or anything like that. We've been wondering that all this time and shit, and never made the whole connection. But then again, like, he was like a reverend or a priest or something like that, and he was also like the sheriff.
Yeah, he was basically one of the most trusted figure in town, and so he was just kind of exploiting that to, you know, do what he wanted to do behind closed doors, behind just, you know, typical scumbag stuff. And that's kind of like, that's the thing that's kind of wild, is that Dracula gave them like a year. Like when you think about like how it all like went down, he gave them a year. Like he was like, yo, y'all killed my wife, so I suggest y'all really get it together, because or get out of here, because in a year I'm coming back and I'm tearing all this up. And then what did they do in that year? They planned a giant party on the day that Dracula promised to come back, trying to clown him and his wife. So, like, they consistently didn't take the steps necessary. And, like, throughout the show, these people kind of prove why they deserve to be cleansed, even if, in the process, other people who don't deserve to be cleansed are getting taken out with them.
Count Dracula was too nice. I think he should have just killed him that same weekend.
I mean, like, at that point, like, because he did all that, nobody really saw him Dracula as a villain, just a sad man who's just getting revenge for his wife, kind of thing. I think Alucard said it best when it said, "You're just a guy who just this is just a guy who's just writing his longest suicide note in the entire time, in this entire world."
Yeah.
And it's like, it's true. I mean,
But
whether he doesn't like to admit it or not, this was like his longest suicide note rant that he's trying to get vengeance and everything, but he just wants to die in the end.
Yo, but they did her so. They did. If you think about what they actually did to his wife, they did her so dirty.
Very.
Like, it was just like, you know, because me, I'm a religious person. So when I saw that and see what, you know, when religious beliefs are controlled by man, and you see how they can twist it to be whatever they want, when they see a spinning tube and they say it's witchcraft, the devil's magic, and I'm just like, you just gotta think for a little bit. you just gotta think for like maybe 5 seconds, and you understand it's not the devil's work. And then the woman that you healed, the woman that you made medicine for to make her feel better, she snitched on her.
Right.
That's the part that
And
really
I'm just
killed
like,
me.
at this point,
That's
I don't blame
bullshit.
Dracula at all.
Yep.
And the fact that he gave them a year was way too much. Like you said, he should have just done it in a week and just been like, all right, we good. Instead, they had a whole holiday. Oh, they had a holiday of when they burnt. I said, oh, if I'm driving, I'm all, hell no.
No
Like,
survivors.
like,
No
you
one
know,
living.
No,
No one living.
survivors. None. It's
No one's
over.
living. No one's living.
Bro,
after
it
that.
was just, oh my God, bro. Humanity was painted in such a sad light where it's just like, man, Dracula saw the best in humanity from his wife, and they killed the best in humanity to his perspective, to the point where he's like, listen, bro, if you killing her, there's nobody out there that I care about. I'm sorry.
They
She was
killed
the
the best in humanity and then celebrated losing the best.
I'm just
Like-
like, it's just
And
to
then-
him, it's just like,
And like, it's crazy for you to lose your wife and then to lose, not even lose, but to shun your own son. It like, you just have no heart no more. You just care less. And like the whole time you just been in the castle, just rotting, just drooling, and they're just doing nothing. It's like, and you give them the whole year, like, my dude, if you was that bored, you could just gone out and killed them. He literally could have just done that.
his wife was able to convince him, it's like, if you want to be like a man, travel as a man.
exactly, and learn about humans. And it's just like, it's funny because if you look at Isaac's story, right? I think one of my favorite parts about Castlevania is learning about Isaac's story.
Yes.
I think Isaac might be the
Top
best
3.
character in the series.
Top 3.
Like,
Top
because Trevor's amazing. Don't get me wrong, Trevor's amazing.
Trevor's, like, yeah.
But
Trevor
I don't know.
and Isaac.
No, it's like, it's those two. Like,
No
I
question.
connected with Isaac so aggressively because I saw what happened to him, and I'm just like, how can you do that to somebody who just literally wanted to like? And it's like when he met Dracula, it's like, look, Dracula, I'm human, but I understand that humans are garbage. I've experienced it, and then what makes me love Isaac the most is even though he knows humans are garbage, he keeps trying to give them chances, and they keep failing him. Every time he tries to give him a chance, they keep failing. He's like, this is why I don't let y'all live. This is why I don't do it.
My favorite line was when he went to the town and said, let me pass and I won't kill anybody
Yes!
here. They said no. I'm like, I'm asking one more time. Please let me laugh and I won't kill nobody.
then-
And they said no. And then, all right,
the
this is why I
whole
don't
the
like
whole
humans.
monologue of
Just
like,
kill.
I try,
Yes.
I try again. But you
I
guys
was
just
tired.
Feel like I'm
I'm
tired
gonna
of your
have to
bullshit.
I
I'm
might
trying to be
rewatch this
nice.
when it's over.
he's like living in Einstein's like I try the same thing, a test over and over again, expecting something different, but no, you guys just do the same thing over and over again, and I'm just so tired.
And the thing is that people literally would just kind of like pull up and decide, I'm gonna test him today. Like that
at
like
least
it was
some
like
pass. At least some people pass, like
But
the
thing is,
sailor
They don't-
and the
oh,
magician guy.
I love the sailor.
The sailor was
He,
raw. I love-
he had a great
Bro.
conversation. He had a great conversation with him at the boat. I forgot how it went. And plus, if anyone wants to say it, go ahead. But that conversation with the sailor was pure raw. The way the sailor knew that he could die, but he like, just be honest, just having a conversation, and it was beautiful.
I think the sailor understood exactly. He said, all right, so let me just look at what's happening here. There's this bald black man and a bunch of demons behind him. What I shouldn't do is upset him. He's literally critical thinking at his finest. Like, all right, Don't upset this man. 2, what does he want? What do you want from me? Let's get that out of the way. You want passage? Bet. You got bread? Bet. That's it. There's no need. And he's like, oh, so you want to be reasonable? It's like, well, it's very simple. I'm a sailor. You need a ship.
And I got people to sail the ship.
And I got people to sail the ship. That's why you're not going to kill me. Let's just do it.
And you're not going to eat my sailors or anything.
Exactly.
And then he said,
overcomplicated, simple interactions with Isaac.
And they said, don't let your demons eat my sailors because we need them to sail the ship. Like, all right, cool. My people don't eat your people sail, and you give me bread. That's it. Love it.
That's all you need.
Like,
and then Isaac was like, I like you. You actually use your brain. That's rare. That's very rare.
And like even the merchant was like willing to, yeah, you can have this the mirror where you can see whatever you desire to see. And the only thing he wants is, I'm gonna die eventually, but I want to know what happens if a forge master can use my soul and put it and come back to the real world, even as a monster, whatnot. And it's possible because he had that conversation with the bug monster kind of thing.
Yeah, the demon, and he asked him about his past, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm really curious to know what is season 4 going to be about, because they teased it at the end where Dracula could come back, and I'm curious about that because in the ending, that ending episode, the last 2, beautiful score, OST, and beautiful animation, which it was freaking amazing with
the Isaac versus the
Trevor
necromancer kind of fight. Oh,
that
bro.
But Trevor and Sylph versus those dragons and other creatures was freaking amazing. Like the animation.
The demon
there
occultist.
Was a good still I saw where it kind of looked like Trevor might have had like a bit of Dracula's cloak on or something like that. Because I saw like a just a still the other day from like the upcoming season. It looked beautiful too. So we know that they're keeping up the same like quality, but season 4, like I feel like they have to come to like deal with Carmela's forces. I think like that.
Oh, they have to,
another big war with that.
Because there's definitely going to be a whole Isaac versus Carmela kind of.
Yeah, because
like
Isaac is arriving.
Kind of thing.
I think Isaac is the next town over or 2 towns, because he was like 4 towns over. Now he's like 2 towns or 1 town over. So he's close. He's literally close, and I think those 3 stories are gonna collide, and I can't wait to see how's that gonna turn out.
Yeah, and then one thing I know about Dracula's mythology is he normally revives after like a couple of 10,000 years or something, like 1,000 or 10,000 years, something like that. So I don't know if he's gonna come into the picture unless we have some wild time skip, and then we see, instead of Trevor Belmont, we go down the line, and eventually you get to Simon, and you start adapting games and things of that nature. So
right.
I'm happy that Powerhouse and this staff is doing great, because Blood of Zeus was, as much as I like Powerhouse, they've been doing good. But Blood of Zeus, those were the interns. It was something that I love, the Greek mythology, but something that they had the story right. But the concept of the pacing, the animation stills were too still. Like I've done animation in my past because of school and everything, but that seems like me trying to do animation. Like Blood of Zeus was like me trying to do it. I'm like, I'm not even good, and I won't even put my name on it. That's why it's like, and it's sad to see Powerhouse having that stamp on it, because I wish they put more time on it, because they had the concept, just poor execution, and that's something I wish they had taken more time on it.
And the wild thing is that I'm a huge Greek mythology fan.
Same.
Like Percy Jackson.
Yes.
Like I never liked reading books. When I first read Lightning Thief, I'm like, I need all of these books. I read the Kane Chronicles, Heroes of Olympus. Like I read them all after that. So like for me, Greek mythology became like my thing. So when I'm like, oh, Blood of Zeus, I love God of War. Okay, let's see what's going on here. I watched the first 5 minutes. I said, I am not watching this show. Animation was horrific. I was like, I can't do this. I'm not gonna make it.
I watched like 7, 8 episodes, and like it's like your utilization of Hera, like it like kind of works. Like these character portrayals, like sort of work. Like that. I think that's the issue though. Like every character that I ran into, it was like this sort of works. Nobody was like, yeah, I really like this, and like an anime where you just like sort of feel it the whole time is an anime that's not really worth like latching on to.
I was disappointed. Like I expected more. Like the same thing Jay said. I grew up with Percy Jackson. My mom bought me all the books. I have all of them, and I love reading them. And I never read books. As when people saw back at high school and middle school, every time they gave us hey, read this in the summer. Never read anything in the summer. So reading Percy Jackson, those stuff hype. We love Greek mythology. But then to see Blood of Zeus, very disappointed. Like I felt watching those 8 episodes, I felt like, damn, I wasted my time. Like if I had to give a score, straight 5 out of 10, just because it had the concepts, it had the idea of the story. Like Aniki said, hair on them, it matches the story of Greek mythology, but it felt the pacing was slow at times. It felt like they were trying to rush it to reach it at the ending to show Hades, to show the next, if it gets a sequel or if it gets another season, to show Hades and all that. Like they felt they was trying to fast it, but then trying to show the characters and lore of these heroes of the Greek mythology.
I absolutely agree with you guys because this was not a great show for Powerhouse at all, and I don't care who says what and who hypes it up and who thought it was really good. It was not good at all. From the moment when the whole like animation, like Jay said, it was not good. The sound, everything did not match.
Was unbalanced, very unbalanced.
It was very unbalanced and did not match. The fighting was okay, but it wasn't like the most over like wow and every factor in that sort of way. And story wasn't a meh. Like honestly, yeah, we know that Zeus was a philanthropist and Hera, the whole jealousy thing, if you want to consider it, sort of worked. But then the guy cheated on you and has 6 different kids with every different demigod, and you start getting mad because he cheated on you with a human.
I love it of how Twitter did not know that Zeus was a hoe. Mad people on Twitter saying Blood of Zeus, like, wait, Zeus is a hoe? I'm like, nobody knew that these other kids they
only grew up with the Disney Hercules.
You can tell, bro. They just don't really love Greek mythology like they think they do. They didn't know Zeus is a hoe.
80% of Greek mythology is the byproduct of a god being a hoe.
Yeah,
literally, is him having kids with other humans.
Zeus and Poseidon are the biggest culprits, by the way.
Oh,
yes,
both of them.
very big. Yes,
fraudulent.
That's why they're brothers. That's actually real brothers.
It was
with
insane.
Hades being the most loyal, even if he did get his wife in strange circumstances.
I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that. I'm not going into that. I will go into that.
It's just the way you said it so casual. You'd be like, yep, shit happens. I'm like, wow. But in the chat, it says, does anybody read the story of the manga series of Records of Ragnarok?
It's on my list. It's on my list. I've heard very good things about it, but it's on my list.
Same here, it's on my list. Aniki, have you read it yet?
I haven't read it yet. I looked at the first couple pages, the premise, because I've been meaning to check it out because King of Lightning said that it's like nonstop hype action, just you'll be excited experiencing it. But at the same time, I've just been reading all these other things, like trying to get my different things together for video. So I have not gone for Record of Ragnarok yet. It looked interesting though. I do think the premise, the action, it did look like it was going to set up some good stuff. So
same here. Okay. I've been meaning to have to read it. I just read one chapter, but that was months ago, so I could really remember. The art was nice though. The story about Greek gods just fighting from the first chapter was pretty cool. But at the time, I think it was 22 chapters. Now it's probably more. But look, interesting concept. But I do want to go go back into it and actually have a full read of it. But it looks cool though.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Anything that you're thankful for this year? Anime, manga?
Honestly, I'm happy that Jump stopped canceling or axing series for a while. I'm really thankful for that shit because it was tired in the beginning of the year. They was axing almost 6 series in the beginning of the year. In the first 6 months, they cancel or axe 6 series. So I'm happy in the last 6 months right now that we're in, they haven't canceled Masho and unlocked really good series that kind of deserve to be there with good story and everything. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy that I cut up to Dr. Stone. I'm happy that I'm starting the game again. So Dr. Stone's really good. So if anybody have not read it, you should. If you want, watch the first day of the anime, dub or sub. Dub or sub is good. Dub is very enjoyable, very entertaining. Anime wise, a lot of anime came out this year, but nothing has really wowed me. I was more disappointed in series that got adapted, like God of High School, Tower of God. Series that had potential, but sadly just never went up there. Let me see what else of anime series. Me and Sam did read in the beginning of the year Solo Leveling, so we read that in the beginning of the year, but we didn't continue because of YouTube copyright strike. So fuck them. But
That's some of the solo leveling people themselves, not YouTube.
well, it's technically Tappy Tunes, but yes, but I didn't want to call them out. But
well, just did it. Name drop.
Solo Leveling was fucking good though. That's one series I hope to continue reading on my own time. It seems like, but Solo Leveling is pure hypeness. I know Jay, you cover it, right?
Mm-hmm. The chapter dropped today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Me and Sam stop on chapter 75. We stop around there. Chapter 75 is when
We didn't get to the ant arc. We didn't get to the ant arc yet.
Yo, Sam, that's in chapter 105.
You're right, Chimera.
It literally just I swear it's just Chimera Anarch.
I can believe that it is Chimera ant arc.
That's what Roger and I think King of Lightning says that the same thing as well.
Yeah, Barrow is just Marrow, but without character.
Okay, so like it's solo leveling, like where it's reading for like a sit there and like stroke your mustache kind of way, or like the ooga booga kind of way.
Ooga booga. It says ooga booga as I can get. Please, if you're going into solo leveling expecting like something deep and philosophical, you're going to be bitterly disappointed. It is all Oonga Booga.
I don't like the term, but it's meat level. Like people like to use the term, but it's very meat level.
Meathead.
Yeah, meathead. Yeah, thank you. But it's meathead heaven. That's for sure. That's a great term for it. It's meathead heaven. Solo Leveling is good.
Ooga Booga.
That's definitely a smash term for sure.
But it's really good. I definitely suggest Aniki to read it because it's really good.
Bandicoot over here.
We broke Sam.
I was thinking Crash Bandicoot right there. I'm sorry. You were saying, Miguel?
Nah, I'm just saying. Solo Leveling, love that series. Arise. It's just great. I really hope to get back to it. It's one of my first to get to. This year, 2020. I just check my list. Kaguya-sama Love is War, great season 2. If you haven't watched it, watch the comedy, slice of life, romance, type of high school days. SAO, I know a lot of people don't like that series, but SAO season 3 part 2 is really good animation. Story has improved, so as much as you want to cut ass on about season 1 and plus season 2 part 1, but season 3 story improved a lot, improved heavy. So I'll definitely say that. I did enjoy. Go on,
also, because we did crap on the anime adaptation for God of High School, I want to once again reiterate that reading the actual webtoon itself, great, very ooga booga, enjoy yourself. Like this past year has actually been pretty fun with the developments. And God of High School is a series that at the halfway point had people throwing canonically the planet Jupiter. So like, just go ahead and let yourself have a wild time with that. Like the spectacle doesn't stop. It's enjoyable. So yeah, I just want to at least give God of High School its props for that.
My plan, me and Sam plan to read it on stream starting either December or in January, depending on our schedule. But we plan to do it and start covering it because we want to get into it. Because I was very disappointed with the actual adaptation, but I really want to actually see how it actually fleshed out. Because I heard Tower of God is good, and plus God of High School, I heard that. I found a lot of people like those are actually worth actually checking out and to actually worth to read actually. So I do actually want to check those out.
Definitely, they did like 40 chapters in the first 5 episodes, so.
Yeah, you can't how much can you really fit in how much compressing so much?
I mean, like a literal 40 chapters in the first 5 episodes.
That's too much.
That's very disappointing. And the only thing I want to add, Digimon Adventure, 2020 reboot. I don't know if any big fans of Digimon out there, but for this 2020 reboot, it's actually been a lot, very enjoyable. It's been good. I love the story they've been changing, and a lot of characters change of designs with Agumon and everything like that. So if you're a big fan of Digimon, there's nothing of great storytelling or anything like that in depth, but it's good to just kick back and watch it. So that's, I would say, for me, that really stood out in 2020 anime and manga.
Cool. Guess my turn. The animes that Miguel had mentioned: Digimon Adventures, of course, Sword Art Online, Love is War, season 2. Those are really good animes in the season. I haven't got into it, but ReZero second season's first half was been is good. I know it's like I've read the manga and I know like what's the good stuff that's happening within that series. Uh, there was a lot of good openings within Fire Force. Because
Fire Force opening was good. Yeah.
Season 2 has been really good lately. Honestly, I've been watching again, and it's been great. The new series, manga series that Shonen Jump at least gave a chance to for new stuff, and like even though they got axed, they gave their best foot, like they get their best effort, and like this doesn't really stop them from trying. And I think it's been a good year for new mangas to help develop, especially when uh there were series that were ending within Shonen Jump, and they just need replacements, and they just need people to like take up the spots in higher ranking. I'm glad for Undead Unlock and Masho to help take that spot. Spy Family has been still good.
I just need more consistent chapters of Spy Family.
Yeah.
It just goes randomly on break and everything. So it's like, yo, what's going on? And Kaiju number 8. If
Kaiju
nobody's
number 8.
reading Kaiju number 8, that's also a good gem. Kaiju number 8 is only 17 chapters out officially. Jay, I think you'll love that series. If you like Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan, yeah, I've heard people. So I know O'Hara recommended Kaiju number 8 and said it was like the next Attack on Titan, and people have said something about it. So I've been curious. The cover art looks nice, so I'm curious about it.
So one of the, I'm gonna say be careful with that.
That's too high. That's too high. That's
a little too high. That's a little too high.
I would say, do you like Pacific Rim?
I mean, it was okay.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Do you like kaiju?
Right.
Hold on.
Do I like kaiju? Do I like Godzilla monsters type
yes.
thing?
Yeah.
It could be hit or miss. It could. I mean, as a kid, I love like the whole heart, like Jaws and things of that nature. Octopus, rats, like all that stuff. So,
here's the thing. I would say it does, because I understand when they say Attack on Titan, they just mean that there's like sentient monsters and stuff.
Yeah,
scouts and
but like
that's what they mean.
But that's like a very deceptive like comparison to make.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So like right now with what we got, for me the selling points are more over like you have the main character is like 31, and then like his like sidekick, like his right hand character is like 20. So you got like the more adult dynamic kind of going into this, and like so you have, and then the application of knowledge they require doing stuff that's like everyday work being applied to this like military job type stuff. That's the beats and stuff that make Kaiju number 8 good. Right now, the story I would say is like decently safe, but it's got some interesting premises that can be explored. And like,
so I think I read the first chapter, and I do get what you're saying. I remember from the first chapter was like they just defeated the monster, and the main character is like part of the cleanup squad, right? That's the same one. Okay. Yeah, that was interesting to me. I was like, I don't know where they're going with this, but if you were to classify it as a series, like, would you say it's like a thought-provoking series, or is it more of along the lines of it's like a mixture of like Unga Bunga with a little bit of substance?
I think it's Ooga Booga with
a little bit of substance.
Correct.
For sure.
With the second one.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. I'm trying to think.
I'd say it's like 70-30 so far.
But then it can explore even more to be like not just that. It could be even more. If just giving you a little bit pieces by pieces, and that's what they do every single chapters. And it's a good selling point, honestly. It gets you wanting even more chapters of wanting. Are they gonna do it? Are we gonna learn more about this? And like if they do, we're gonna be interested, like full on, all in for it.
Because it's not
I would say that the spread is partially them giving you like action so that you have a reason to be invested in this world before it starts trying to teach you about all these extra subdivisions within the speciations that we're definitely have on the way. So it's 70-30 now. I think that as the story progresses, we're gonna have, maybe it'll be like a couple rough bits where you'll see like the fandom's like, oh, I don't know if Kaiju number 8's, but then like what you'll see is like that'll be the part where you're getting like a lot of the heavier science stuff. And so what it'll really be is like the people who just wanted to keep seeing the main character punch like monsters away. They're like, oh, well, like I'm mad about this part that explains a whole bunch of really cool lore. So like that's like what I see on the horizon in the fandom. And as long as it gets over that hump, then it should like be a good series that gets to play out and do what it needs to do.
And plus, it's nice that it's on Jump Plus, where where the creator could do 3 chapters a week and then take a break and then just 3 chapters again. Like I find that very refreshing for the creator himself to take a break and actually give themselves time to actually get the story, the art, its pacing, and everything. Like know how to plan out, because that's something I wish a lot of the creators in Jump could have and do.
Yeah, because he just also gives you some insights on the weapons that's fighting against
Yeah,
these
it's cool too.
kaijus, and like he'll give you like all these details and work, and that's appreciated, very helpful. Because sometimes people like the lore and like the information that's needed for this entire story,
Yeah.
and the art's still good. And it's fun, even if it's just like some of these fights can end within like a whole entire 2-page shot. It's still interesting and still fun to watch and like everything until Kaiju number 8, and it's really quick. The thing about Kaiju number 8, you
It's
just
too quick.
catch up really quickly.
You could probably read all 17 chapters in probably in a good hour or
hour?
two.
Yeah, I don't think it'd take more than an hour or two.
So it's definitely something on my list. I would say I actually just started reading Mashal. So
Okay.
I'm trying to get through Shonen Jump and like really be like hip to Shonen Jump. So like what'd you say? Undead? Is it
Unluck?
Undead Unluck? Yeah.
Yeah,
Undead
correct.
Unluck, Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. So I'm trying to like I'm really trying to become like I wouldn't say a shonen connoisseur, but I'm trying to, do right by shonen and at least read the series that are out. So
Alright.
Kaiju is one that whenever you go on like viz.com, like Kaiju is one of the ones that like it catches my eye all the time. So like it's definitely something on my radar for sure. So you guys give me the synopsis is at least giving me an interest to give it a chance and catch up with it and then see how I feel about it for sure.
Which, since you mentioned Mashal, how you feeling about that though?
Mashal's hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes I just love a good series that's hilarious, and Mashal has me like screaming. Like he's just because it's like with One Punch Man, you like Saitama, and then you have the other characters that are serious that kind of like give you the serious element.
Mhm.
With Mashal, it's like he's so straightforward to a point where his straightforward dry humor is hilarious. Like
Right.
it's ridiculous, and the reactions to him, like it's refreshing to get a nice little comedy shown in there. So I think, as someone who loves slice of life but has taken a long hiatus from slice of life, I feel like that's something I need.
Yeah, I think that Mashal is one of those series that has a better slice of life balance for me, because I find that anime slice of life, I can like read one series for a while and then I don't care about like the slice of life aspects pretty much at all for the rest of like 2 years. Like I was reading We Never Learn for a long time. It was like one of my top 3 favorites in Shonen Jump for a while, and that's like the harem manga or whatever that's still running. Right. I got my favorite ending, and then just I didn't have a slice of life itch for a long time.
I hear you. Yeah.
And so like the balance for that series is like where you have all this goofy stuff that's like day-to-day living, but it's like in a fantasy enough world that it doesn't always feel like the same standardized slice of life. It really does have a good ratio for me that lets me to just kind of enjoy it. And that's like my go-to. I'm confident I'm going to get to at least chuckle or laugh every time I read a Mashal chapter.
I love Mashal for that reason, because every time I read it, I just be laughing off how he just all wants to eat is just cream puffs, and how honest he is. Like, yeah, I don't got magic. Wait, no, I do have magic. Like the way he just tries to be smart or
Fake
try
it.
to. Yeah, thank you. That's the right word. Like in the most recent chapter, like he tries to be fake and everything, but he's a straight now person. He just does what he can, and also he just enjoys food. He just enjoys his one thing. That's all he cares about is his father and his cream puffs. That's all he cares about. Those 2 things.
And like weight training.
And
And
his
like weight
muscles.
training.
And his muscles. That's very true. So I find it very beautiful about that.
I mean, like the good thing, the fun thing about Masho is like the difference with Saitama is instead of just one punch, this guy can literally kick, or at least have some more creative ways to use his abnormal strength in the fights and skills in that sort of way. Like he would think outside the box to get the job done, and it works. It's just the comical hysteria just works there, and it makes the series much more interesting and fun to read and stuff like that. That's the series I am thankful for this year for sure, with Undead Unlock. even for the series that got axed this year, wish they continued. Some of them continue, but fortunately, like it's all about the sales from this point on. Kaiju number 8, like Miguel said, Ghost Reaper Girl. I thought it's a good series so far right now. From the same creators of Rosario plus Vampire.
Oh yeah, that's a good series.
I tried to get into it. It like I wasn't feeling the main vampire dude. So like, is he like how is that playing out right now?
It gets better. I'm enjoying where it is now. I was like you, like I was like 5 chapters behind, so I was on chapter 4 and Brandon's on chapter 10. So I was letting it stack up to see where it is now, and I'm enjoying it. Where chapter 10 is, because it actually added more within the department of the whole Ghost Reaper girl aspect, and with the whole characters aspect, like with the more lore that with the whole ghost, other characters that we found. So I'm very satisfied with that.
Also thankful for the Dragon Quest reboot. I'm actually interested. I'm full on in. Can't wait to watch even more of it. I'm grateful. I'm thankful for that Attack on Titan is not being pushed to next year, but at least we get a start from like in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks right now.
Okay, so out of curiosity, is anybody else worried because we haven't gotten another trailer or anything yet?
No, I'm not.
No,
I think
but
Mappa has been very busy this entire year in itself, and I think Attack on Titan's popularity is like it's already enough that people are going to watch it anyway. Who else even more that you're gonna have try to get new fans to watch this as well?
I'm yes and no word, because from what I see on the timeline, like some people saying that the anime staff just found out that it's gonna be coming in a few weeks, but I'm like, wait, there's no way that they just found out it's gonna be in a few weeks. Like there has to be some type of communication within telling your staff members saying, hey, the anime is gonna be premiering in a couple of weeks. We gotta get some stuff ready. So like, I feel like I hope they're not overworking their staff, doing overtime, trying to get it done. And if they feel like they should push it for the full winter of 2021, I feel like they should. I don't think a lot of people get mad. I feel like people would rather be getting a good season when it comes out, because I don't want to see the last season that has been hyped for years of great storytelling and the god of storytelling of Attack on Titan and everything like that. I hope it gets told well and correctly. That's all I want to see. Jay?
I mean, I have confidence it will work because Mappa has been doing well with God of High School. Not the story, but the animation all in itself has been good for God of High School. It's doing really well with Jujutsu Kaisen, honestly, right now. Mappa has a really good track record since, like, for me, it was since Dotoro. I haven't heard about Mappa until, like, Dotoro. And then looking back of other series that they win they animated too. I think that was with
sure.
that was with I think that was
okay.
with Studio themselves said, like, if we could like count on any other studio that could pick up Attack on Titan, it was definitely Mappa. Their own words saying, like, we trust Mappa to animate Attack on Titan season 4.
I think.
Sorry, Jay. Go ahead.
No, so the only thing I'm concerned with is they say this is the final season of Attack on Titan, and we're not even at the end of the manga. So how are they going to add the end of Attack? Like, I guess they're just not going to reach as far as the manga is at. Like, that's the anime is done, or are they going to have their own unique anime only ending? Like,
I think they're gonna split. They're gonna split it.
They're gonna have to split it, because from the manga, from what I'm told, there's probably 2 or 3 last chapters left of the manga. So with the anime, there has to be 2 courses. There has to be 24 episodes, or at least that many amount. So if they do 12 episodes, for example, from December until February, then they could take a break and come back in the fall. That's why I believe it's the best route. And so they could do those 12 and then come back to the other 12. That to me is the best route.
See, I don't know if 24 episodes is going to be enough. And then the other thing that I'm questioning, which I could also see them doing here, is that there's a key moment that happens where Aaron makes a big decision.
Yep.
And everybody is just like, all right, we have to decide how we feel about this.
That's probably where they'll end it, right?
Yeah, like if they end season 4 there, where Aaron's like, I'm gonna go do this. They might be like, we're gonna do a final season and then like lob it to somebody for a movie for like that back, like 6 chapters, 7 chapters, whatever.
I think that'd be good. That'd be good.
That'd be
business.
a good idea. Yeah,
that'd be a
that's
very
good
good business.
move, actually. Considering like the last part of Attack on Titan that we've got has definitely been more of like a movie-like experience where it's kind of like it's very, very continuous. Like, okay, we're at this part and we're at the next part of the movie. You know, like we're not in that arc structure at all anymore. It's more of like this is definitely the end, and we can all like see that coming.
Oh, Jay, do you read the series?
Yes, I'm caught up.
I did not know that.
Yeah, no, I've been caught up with Attack on Titan for a long time. Actually, I remember when the first episode came out. I think it was the episode with Rhino when he broke down the wall the first time, the Armored Titan. I think I caught up immediately after that. So I've been caught up for a very, very long time.
Oh wow, I took a break. I think in chapter 105, 110 is when I just not drop it. I didn't wanna. I'm gonna let it pile up, and since then I just never caught up. So technically, I just want to watch the anime first and then read the rest of the manga. But I paused when Eren came out of the town meeting. That's where I stopped.
The town meeting.
When
he gets his vengeance. He gets his vengeance.
When some guy, I forgot his name, but the guy was doing the whole speech and everything, and Eren and some people were outside. Trying to do
the guy, the priest guy said like, we must declare war and it's like
Pastor Nick.
Yes.
Pastor Nick. That Pastor Nick arc was wild. I ain't gonna lie.
The chapter I stopped. Like from there, like I'm gonna take a break, and then from there I just stopped reading.
See, for me, it was like I was like watching the anime, and then it was like there was an episode in season 3 I hit. Not even like the season finale. Like there was just like a certain point in season 3 where I was like, nah, I'm reading this. I think it was like a week or 2 before the basement reveal. Where I was like,
was it them charging into the Beast Titan?
It would have been around there where I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not waiting another week to find out what's in this basement. It's over.
You wanted to know right now, basement?
Yeah. I was like, I'm not waiting anymore on this, especially because I had already seen like slander on what was in the basement. So like, I never knew what was actually found in the basement. I just saw a lot of people saying terrible things about how the basement wasn't worth it. The basement isn't a satisfying payoff. The basement was trash. And I'm like,
I mean,
wrong.
Let them know you're wrong. The basement was not a bad reveal at all.
Like, are you mad that the basement didn't have a Titan in it? Like,
or like just some
basement and there's a bunch of Titan. Like, no, like that was raw.
a lot of people don't see that a picture, a photograph is a big deal from back then, because that's something like that never existed. Like if you try to go back, if you try to go back in the 1700s and show somebody a phone, people will see like that's magic or like witchcraft. People will be like, whoa, what the hell is that? That's something that a witch did, or some type of warlock. That's not something that's from the future, because people don't know that's real.
Not just that, it was literally like, because we were the entire time within this entire beginning before the time skip, we all thought that all of humanity in the world was gone, and this was the only like area and people were living. And then you have the discovery where no, there are others out this another world outside of your own world. How is that not a mind-blowing event?
Exactly. It was literally like, surprise, you're on an island. And everything around you ain't even a piece of the world.
Like, think about the concept of the fact that salt is such a rare commodity there, and then Armin learns, oh my god, there's an entire sea full of salt. Are you serious? Like, what?
I mean, these books
I paid like $300 for salt. Salt could be like 2 cents now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a mind blower. Like, it's crazy. I would argue that whole reveal might have been bigger for Armin than it would have been for Eren. Honestly.
Also, just like the notion of the ocean in of itself, fish, food supply, like getting to see the ocean was like such like knowing for sure if they could just get to it. Even if they never left the island, just being able to expand out that far and have like access to like travel like ports around and be able to like shipping around the island just to speed things up would have been such a big deal.
And like they only know a piece of it, but they don't know people. The watchers of the anime does not like. We just see what the characters know right now at this moment, but we don't know what Aaron knows and what he's discovered and everything. And that's gonna be what's gonna be anticipated for season 4 of what he knows and what's been gonna change within this next 3 years. 2-3 was it 2 years or 3 years?
It's a 4-year skip.
4 years. Okay.
The 4-year skip does what I believe is just true, and like why so many series have to do time skips. Veteran MCs are better than greenhorns.
Spit.
Can't agree more. Yeah, facts.
Like there's just something about like, or as I like to call them, New Game Plus MCs, where they've got their own lore already established. They've been in this world. It can come to bite them in the ass at any time in the story. All this other stuff. So like, all right, if we want Aaron Yeager to be more interesting, we move him up 4 years now. He's got all this leadership experiences, all the stuff you saw him go through that already was going to change him as a man, plus 4 years of stuff you don't know about. So now you basically get introduced to a new character with his own ideologies, with his own impact on the world around him, with people who have their own feelings about him. Whether you understand who they are, where they're coming from or not, doesn't matter. The point is that because he's lived this life, he's gotten to acquire these things that can only be like achieved and maintained through the status of being like a veteran who's gone through so many of these things.
No, agreed. And like people, it's to give the readers, watchers, the idea like what happened that made you become this kind of person within the 4 years of this whole before and after. And we're gonna get that. It's just like you gotta have to wait for it.
I was gonna ask ask and say Jay has to leave. But before Jay leaves, I was gonna say give your plugs, but also have any last thoughts of Attack on Titan, Castlevania, anything like that sort.
So one, Attack on Titan, I actually am very curious about rereading it for sure. I think as a whole story, I really want to have a full opinion on it because it's been so long since I've like really followed along and all the big reveals and whatnot. Attack on Titan is getting a massive amount of hype at the moment. A lot of people like it. It's definitely one of the gateway animes now for sure. So I think a lot of people, a lot of casuals are excited for this arc and they're going to love it. One thing I would just like to say is I feel like the political arc where everyone said it dropped off, I would greatly disagree. I think the political arc was one of the most interesting arcs in Attack on Titan. Like
they needed that.
You needed it because for me, I've always been against the zombie apocalypse format. I hate it. I hate zombie apocalypse. I hate any story doing Walking Dead. Couldn't take it. The moment they broadened it into human versus human, but not just like, oh, human versus human in this world of zombie. It's like legitimate politics. I was like, this is nice. Like, this is good. And then we get back to the Titan element, and then we have Titans and politics mixed together. Then you realize Titans are more of a political tool. So I was like, okay, Attack on Titan, it's not just relying on its formula that got them success. It's evolving as it goes along. And that was like the best part. So, okay, you can hear that. So, long story short, Attack on Titan, great. Excited for this season. Castlevania, best Netflix anime show for sure. And then last plug, apparently this chapter of One Piece is going to be amazing. For those who've read the spoilers, don't spoil me, but apparently it's going to go crazy. So stay tuned for that. Sanji over Zoro, 100%. You should know that already. I'm going to do a video, and it's going to be very controversial. I'm going to say why Sanji's a better character than Zoro. So I'm going to do that one. That's going to be great. So stay tuned for that one. Sub to my channel, JD Legend. I don't really have any more plugs, anything like that.
All the plugs are on the chat right now, so the guys, if who wants to know, can go in right now.
And Jay, I hope you enjoy being here. I hope you do come back for a full show and everything else.
Of course, I will. I had a lot of fun, so thank you guys for having me. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Likewise.
Nice to
thank
meet
you
you
for
guys.
coming, man. Happy Thanksgiving, man.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
But yeah, Attack on Titan comes back in less than 3 weeks. That's crazy.
So 2 weeks or 10 days, or however I think the 4th, December 4th is when they come back for sure. But yeah,
December 6th. December 6th it comes back. So less than 2 weeks. Yeah.
So I think Attack on Titan is actually in a spot where, regardless of whether or not the season, like the final season, is going to be executed right, like towards the end, or if they're going to do like a 3-core season, or if they're going to do like season 3, part 1, part 2, part 3. However they decide to do it, I think it's just imperative that we kind of be braced for disappointment, just because it's been kind of tight. And usually series like to like flex when they're like, you get some news,
True.
something like something comes out, like a statement, anything. So I'm personally being very hesitant. I don't want to get too optimistic. I don't want to decide that it's going to be top anime of the year coming in at the last second.
I think they'll be okay. Like, not like full on optimism, but then I think they're gonna do just fine. I'm kind of hoping that they don't like cut out too much from what the manga what they need to, because you're gonna have to be some sacrifices somewhere in some parts, and we're gonna have to be okay with that. But when we've seen from season 3 and then part 2, how they had to do the whole Beast Titan, the whole versus Shirogane arc, where they had to fight the Beast Titan and everything, and then the whole Shimagashima arc. Thank you. And then the basement reveal and stuff like that for 2 or 3 episodes, and then the Aaron's father past story. I think they did a great job within the 10 episode stretch.
Yeah, they did great with season 3, part 2. I thought like they delivered hands down. That's why if they have to do, like a part 1 of season 4 that's like 24 episodes, and then drop like another 4 or 5 just to wrap it all up, because there's like a couple extra chapters, that makes sense to me. That's why I was like, they might just do a movie where like they hit a certain point, and then like that's the season finale, and then
they might do that. What you're saying, because they're doing that with Demon Slayer, where they could just do the arc of what happened in Demon Slayer into a movie, and they might do that with this, so it could be happening. So it's possible.
And the arc of Demon Slayer was really short. It was about like 15, 20 chapters, maybe not even 20. So that was kind of like, they paced it out where they decided that the arcs that come after that, which have a bit more density to them, make better scheduling blocks, because I'm thinking about what comes after this, and like the next season, that's like just a hard season for Demon Slayer. It's likely to be the Red Light District plus the Swordsmith Village arc.
I heard a lot of people saying that's a good arc about the Red Light District.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. It's a pretty solid arc. So then like you have that, and then the 3rd season might just end up being the final arcs of Demon Slayer, because the end of Swordsmith Village is actually a big turning point in the series. It could have been more, but it is like functionally a turning point in the series, which sets up like the end game, where it's like basically the act 3 of the story. So making that be the end of like the actual season 2, and then giving us a season 3 that's basically the final chapters from the end of Swordsmith on, is probably the best option.
Okay, that's fine. I'm hoping they kind of do the same thing what they did with season 3 part 1's ending, where they had the whole like really weird mix up, the whole like soundboard, like the song just somehow like almost like it broke.
No.
And then
that
the whole DVR
ending,
thing.
that ending of trying to tease what's happening next season, that was weird.
That was the point.
No, that was weird. It's just the whole static, and it's just
you thought your own
and
TV
jump.
or your something like wrong with your channel, the episode.
Nah.
And then really it just showed you some quick slides of what's happening in the next season, and then a small clip of the whole Levi talking to Mikasa and Aaron, and 2 bodies on the top of the roof be like, do you know what you're doing is treason, and all shit like that. I think that was great. I think that was really great.
It was good, but it's just like you have to wait. It's like, nah, I just want just cut the intro, boom, move to the next episode, and then also wait for the next season. That's it. I don't want no more teasers. I just want the full season of Attack on Titan. Show me the goodness of Isayama on screen, of animation and art. That's what I want to see. And another banger opening, because I was watching and listening to the openings. Red Swan is still my top 3 openings of all Attack on Titan. Red Swan is still so good. Very, very not
different.
Underwhelming. It's very different, because a lot of people say that it's very not top because of the OST and the score.
It felt it was weak because, like, I mean, I guess with all the hype up in the orchestra openings from the first 2, and like it made sense because those entire season they were hype and there was a really orchestra level music that you kind of needed. But season 3 was to portray and shows that how much of the childhood, how much it was more innocent back then when Eren and them they were kids. Eren, Armin, and Mikasa were kids, and then you get to learn about their backstories, and then it went even further where you learn about Eren's father's backstory, and just like okay,
and how he lost his innocence, and how the loss of his innocence is what created this cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically, it isn't because
we're not gonna touch that. We can't touch that. That's spoiler. That's too spoiler.
But speaking about spoilers and everything, quick tangent. So it's on the news for us to talk about, but also I see that it's the movie release date got out. So we got My Hero third movie is saying that will be released in summer 2021 next year.
I can see that.
Okay.
I think that's about time because
the
second movie came out.
But it's interesting
last February, right? Or January?
For us in the US, it came out this past February and everything, but in Japan it came out in 2019. So
yeah,
but it's interesting.
2019.
But it's interesting.
It takes another year for a new movie. Same thing with Naruto. It's like a new movie every year.
But it's interesting though because the season 4, right? No, season 5, right? Season 5.
We're going into season 5.
Season 5 is starting in spring 2021.
It's correct. And then, but this is 2021 summer for Japan that they're gonna be having the third movie release. And by the way, those jackets, whoever's listening, anything from Crunchyroll Company, Viz or anything, sell Shoto jacket. Sell that effing jacket. I want that jacket. Sell it.
Not selling that jacket is a mistake. Not selling those jackets is a mistake.
Not selling is a mistake. I don't care if it's 100. If it's 300, then yeah, trying to rip us off. But if it's 100, that's fine. But I mean, trust me, people will like buy that.
A full-on winter jacket kind of jacket, I'll pay the $300.
Oh yeah, if it's like winter with a fur and everything like that, hell yeah.
Yeah, the right quality, it'll be worth it. But like, the thing is that in my eyes, because we just got the announcement for this movie, and unlike where, you know, with season 4, where people are like, oh, the movie ruined it. Like, I think that we have the anime, like the season is supposed to be starting before the movie even comes out. So realistically, the first core of season 5 is already finished. So by the time that movie got announced anyway, there's a good chance that like My Villain Academia is what's being worked on or done right now. That kind of stuff being like wrapped up, and then boom.
I could definitely see that because while My Villain Academia is happening, going on, this movie has been the whole time skip that happened within that 3 months. I think that you're right for that point, or at least after the whole. If it's after season 5 and you give us the movie, that works too because like it's the setup.
Movie. Well, okay, so I meant like for production schedules, but like time wise, as far as what the story is set, the best place that I could think of for this movie is either during their internship with Endeavor, which is like a minor spoiler, but that's kind of like where I expect season 5 to end anyway.
Yeah.
Or you put it like in between the end of, or like around the time of like after Cider House incident happens, towards the beginning of NBA, you know, where Bakugo and Bakugo and Shoto fight the guy with the carbonated water and that gang, you know, in the streets, whatever. You place it after that event, so like before Deka, after that, and then like boom, you still have like a bit of flexibility there. But I'm leaning more towards I think they actually are going to make that movie be inside of the scope of the internships that get teased.
That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping, that time skip we saw within the 3 months of them training with Endeavor, I hope we get more in that site, and that's what I assume will be happening. And I 100% agree with you, Aniki, because a lot of people ask, can we see more of the training? Because a lot of people, I hate that type of concept that people say they don't want training arcs, or they do want training arcs, or just showing flashbacks real quick. But to see the Endeavor training arc with Endeavor, Bakugo, Shoto, and Deku, see him, minor spoilers for those that have not read the manga or seen season 5 of the anime that have not been out yet, but I really want to see Deku with Black Whip. I want to see that, how he controls it more and how he handles it more on screen.
The thing is if it comes out at the right time. So let's see, like let's say spring 2021 is like early March, and like summer 2021 when this movie comes out is actually like August.
Yeah.
Then we should have already gotten the Black Whip reveal.
We already
And at
have
that
probably
point,
18 episodes or 16 episodes around there.
right? So like Black Whip should have already been revealed.
Correct.
We should have like it on camera, like already in the anime, which means that unless you go to see the movie before you watch season 5, even though season 5 has been airing, through there, and that's probably partially why the movie is airing in summer, while the anime is in production, to allow them to use Black Whip plus the stealth designs. So, like if they like slip a little Black Whip in the trailer, like they might not notice it if they get just something on the jacket, only for it to be, Black Whip finally getting pulled out. So, and movie level Black Whip is something that I'll gladly watch.
Hell yeah. And I really am curious to know what's the villain or what's going to be about, because the whole tagline of saying he will meet the three musketeers is pretty interesting and everything. And I assume the fourth person will be probably Endeavor, because technically when you have the three musketeers, there's technically 3 of them, but the fourth one tags
It's
along.
4. Yeah.
So
The one where it's like the more famous guy. Yeah, it's gonna have to be Endeavor.
So my curious, it can't be All Might since he's
To
not here
lead.
no more. Yeah, so it has to be Endeavor himself, since it kind of works out perfectly. So that's my assumption, which that could lead to. But who's he is what I'm curious about as well.
I mean, he could also be Endeavor as well in a sort of way, where technically the fourth member doesn't join the Three Musketeers until like literally much later in the book. But that's the question I want to go into, is like who will be the villain in this movie? Because I would definitely say the villain in the second movie wasn't like that great. It wasn't.
You didn't like 9?
9 was like meh.
I like
I
9.
like this. I like this henchman, the beast guy, the chimera guy.
Chimera.
More like a lot more than 9, honestly, because 9 was just more of a more weaker carbon copy of All for One and now Shigaraki, that sort of way. It's just mainly to give the Deku Bakugo hint of how they can handle that kind of person that's like All for One or Shigaraki in the future, kind of thing. It's just more of a hint, give the watchers a test of how much more how can they handle it themselves, especially when this was Hirogoshi's original endings before, like he just gave it up and gave it to the movies in that sort of way, and now he gets to create a new alternate ending of his own, and it's been doing really well right now with this current arc of this entire year. So I think it was a good job for him to give up this original ending.
I disagree and agree with what you're saying, because at the same time he could also just be speaking for the audience. Like, there's no way for you to be a creator and saying that that's your original ending, but you just gave it for the movie. Like, I think as him as a creator, he has multiple possibilities of endings in his own way that he feels like could end the whole My Hero Academia. Like, there's more way to end the series, and I don't think that's his only ending. Would you agree, Aniki, with that?
So the thing is that I think that might I think as an ending, that particular one would have worked for the series.
It would.
I think there's a certain aspect that wouldn't have happened in the last thing, like like the last 5 minutes and certain things that happened after the combat, after the fight, wouldn't have happened in my eyes. I think the series just would have ended with the end of the dream.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that like that, and like for me, that would have worked as an ending if
it would work, but
there's no gift backsies.
Yes.
That would have been like the big point, is that like it would have been a moment of growth for both of them. Whereas I think for a movie, it worked as entertainment value. I do think Horikoshi is capable of creating a better ending anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's certain things that ending the story not that way, like the way that it was structured in the movie, thematically can have better room for it. But at the same time, I understand like there's thematic resonance in that ending too. So there's Horikoshi will definitely be able to eclipse that ending, no questions about that. It's just a matter of whether or not he's going to use a similar vein but different execution. That I think is what it's going to come down to.
I agree. Like I prefer. I'm okay with the ending. just how your alternate ending could be a little bit more complex, like help incorporate it more. And Ray is in the chat right now, and I actually liked his theory of how it would end is that everybody else have a piece of one for all of and like be able to use the power in that sort of way. Um,
I
but
like it, but at the same
see
time, I
what-
don't because it kind of reminds me about Ninetales with our boy Kurama. For Naruto, that's the way that ended with the four Great Ninja War that Abu Kurama shared his chakra with everybody, so they cannot get hurt or anything like that, or they could just
it
get
was
a little
just
extra
but
boost.
that in that
So it's like-
situation, that's to like increase their survival and to heal them and all the other stuff. But in this situation, is everybody's gonna be working together to fight, and by that time we would know everybody what's the extent of their powers and limits and how their ability to work together as a team. And we're seeing that right now, like throughout the entire My Hero Academia, where how well like different peoples and different teams they're working really well together, and like their moves partner up really well, their strategy works really well, their chemistry is really good. I think that's why it's called One for All. Like literally just say it's literally called One for All.
So you think it's going to be one power eventually shared with all people? I mean, I've considered that. I'm not going to lie. I've thought about it. Like, I could see it happening. I think it's a little too on the nose for Horikoshi, but at the same time, I don't think it's completely above him. I don't think it's something that he'd just completely disregard and be like, no, that's too campy or anything like that. I could see him doing it. I just
Like,
think that I think that's like a little too like easy, perhaps. But it comes down to what he does with Shigaraki at the end, also.
I say even more because, like, especially when the Hero Society always been reliant on the top 10 heroes, the pro heroes, and number one hero with All Might and Ever and that sort of stuff. When you have to realize one person can't do it all, one person can't change the entire society and change the government, change everything. It takes everybody, it takes a whole group, and it takes everybody, like one for all for everybody. So I can definitely see that as the ending of My Hero Academia for sure. Speaking of, yep, all we got was the hint of the poster of the Three Musketeers. All
Which-
suits looks great.
That
I
poster
think-
look amazing. Oh, I just can't stop staring and like I just can't wait to see what happens. Still, my favorite out of those three posters, Shoto. Still,
I think Shoto should get the like the more screen time into this movie, especially because we know like this is the whole training arc for all three of them under the
That we assume,
Endeavor
yeah.
agency and that sort of thing. And we're gonna probably learn more about Endeavor as well.
My thing is that based on the advertising for this movie, I'd actually kind of like it if we shrunk down the roster focus and the rest of 1A wasn't really in this movie a lot, and then that's how we gave Bakugo, Shoto, Deku like their own focus and had like real arcs to them, because I think that in a lot of movies they're not necessarily allowed to have much character arcs. They're moreover allowed to like just get thrown into these situations and then address them.
I 100% agree with that because that's something that I didn't like about the first movie. Not because the first movie was bad, but it's because a lot of the characters that were there were very useless. They wasn't there for character plot or story, but they were just there because the cast of 1A need to at least have 2 lines or 3 lines to at least show, hey, we're here, we're doing something. But it felt very evidence, like at all, not really there for a reason. But with what you say, Aniki, 100% agree. Where the third movie should just have the cast that's needed to show up. If you're not gonna show cast one, just say they're doing one more assignment outside. Boom. You do not need to show them. You just need to acknowledge that they are important, but they're doing another assignment or their own training session or their own training arc, whatever it may be. But these are the people that we're gonna look at right now, which is Shoto, Deku, Bako, and probably 2 more students. Sure, but I don't think we need the whole roster. 100% agree with that.
True. Even though the movie is called Two Heroes, and the main 2 heroes were supposed to be Melissa and Deku in the story.
Yeah.
It didn't need the whole entire cast of 1A, but at least the voice actors get a nice check from that. So, and it made money regardless of regardless of anything, the popularity went really well. And when it came into the U.S., when it was only supposed to screen 2 days, only 2 days officially, because of all the hype and popularity and the money that it made, it gave me a whole additional week of screen time in movies. So that's
And
props in box office.
Ray said it in chat that his correct theory is that my real theory is that Deku takes both one for all and all for one, and having them into himself in the body and canceling them each other out. That's his real theory as well. To technically correct Sam and everything.
See, okay, and Ali just mentioned the quirk singularity happening, and it'll be a world without quirks where all quirks are brought to the end. I think that's I don't think that's like unfair because like I'm a big believer that we could end up with the no more mutants effect.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a chance. Yep.
Yeah, with Aerie, you have the potential for like the Scarlet Witch type play where she just kind of somehow ends up being super amped or something like that that removes the quirks from the country. But am I like hard committed to that idea? No, because I could see Horikoshi taking a completely different route. And I've had some people say, well, like, what's the story in that? Like the message of the story if, you use a power like that. And I'm like, sometimes just the message of the story could be like, you guys can't handle that. Maybe society isn't ready for that, and then that's okay too. Like, not you don't always have to have something just because you can.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Maybe like you don't really need quirks or powers to be a hero. I mean, that's what we've been trying to explain since the beginning with My Hero Academia. Like a boy that didn't have any powers, but was given this power, but he's incorporating himself with his own quirks of how better use than his predecessors in a way, and more enhanced in evolution of its quirks and everything. And this was a kid that never really had any quirks in the beginning. This was all his head, his mind, thinking of how can I use this better? How can I use it my way? How can I do it everything else? It's all about the human brain of possibilities that you don't need the feather. Dumbo, you could do this all on your own.
I like the Dumbo callback.
I just love how throughout the whole episode we just saying, how is the story? Is it worth that Oopa Goomba type of read, or or is it the mustache? Like, I was enjoying that whole type of discussion. That was hilarious. That's one of my favorite parts, and I hope we continue that throughout the rest of the throughout the end of the podcast and everything, because that was amazing. That was funny as hell.
I want to bring up another news that surprisingly, the Demon Slayer movie Mugen Train actually beat the Your Name in the box office in Japan.
Yeah,
that was amazing. Like, holy, like we know the popularity, the fandom of Demon Slayer is so huge, but it actually beat Shinkai's Your Name in the box office. Like, Jesus.
I think there's just one of the things that they talk about is how like Japan has like a dwindling like childbirth rate.
Right.
But here's the thing. That means that a lot of those people also have more money to do events. So I think people are like gonna go out to do more fun. So in the process, you go see these movies. Not to mention just like the cultural resonance. So it struck. It was a really good homage of like Japanese culture. Then you had there's just more people with the opportunity to go out and do these things. So it just these small things stack and you just create these inevitabilities over time. Like a lot of these records are just going to be broken just off of population growth or just people having accessibility increasing.
I think you might be right about the accessibility, because especially this time, that's kind of time right now where we're kind of limited and everything like that, and Japan does open up movies and allowing people to come in to do something.
Well, then you also factor in that they, to a certain degree, you also have the fact that during the pandemic, places were shut down. So some of these people waited, and this Demon Slayer movie is like the only thing they've done this year, or it's like the biggest thing they got to go do.
I mean, that's true. Honestly, that's kind of true, especially when like Comet has been closed, like their own convention of like their own like Comic-Con convention, which is like anime with manga form. It's closed for them because of COVID, and they can't do anything else. Especially when it's like one happens in the summer and one happens in this winter.
But for me to add is that a lot of people say, Avatar, not Avatar Last Airbender, but the blue people. A lot of people say how much, I think I make sure that people know what we're talking about. So, the movie that was
You
made
mean
by James
Smurfs?
Cameron. James Cameron that made this.
The
Um,
Smurfs.
no, not those. So you know how Avatar made the big buck of money that it is. A lot of people call it the lightning in the bottle. That's the same thing for Demon Slayer. It's a lightning in the bottle that we don't really know what it occurred, what it made people to watch it, buy all the freaking goddamn volumes because it's about to surpass Bleach sales as well right now. So it's insane. Like of what the breaking in record sales Demon Slayer has done, and the rumor that when it first started, it was early in cancellation, possibly in the beginning, and now is breaking records left and right as about to surpass Bleach. Is breaking records as the movie goes and everything. So, as much as people might not say it's good or bad, the arcs or how it ended, I gotta give still props. It's a lightning in a bottle that it succeeded amazingly, and if the author wants to just, hey, I'm good, I'm gonna chillax, she technically don't have to do another series she don't want because she has bank right now.
I cannot like. There's also been articles where it's been a hit movie, box worldwide in the box office. But then again, there wasn't really much movies that's able to come out this year, so there wasn't really much competition in the first place. But yeah, hopefully when the movie comes out in the U.S., if like movie theaters are allowed to open and people can go and watch it, it will hit a lot more money. It would hit a lot more money in the box office, and I think it might beat like the records of Spirit Away and Your Name's high tier of money and altogether for sure. That's what
And
I
I
feel like.
and I do understand what Neil said about the whole popularity in Japan with Demon Slayer being a lot like Harry Potter here in the U.S., but also that the story is being told and kind of resonates with a lot of people in Japan. So I get why, but that could probably be why the sales are so good. That's crazy though.
I mean, like, stranger things have happened, and Demon Slayer is still like many people's new gateway into anime. So I can't deny it. I can't really like
And
say it's
plus,
bad and stuff like that. It's
and
a
That's
gateway
right,
to
Chief.
anime.
It's cracked. You solved it. It sprinkled some crack in their anime.
that's could be true. And plus, Aniki, if you was hearing Sam's breathe, that's what you hear in the background.
Sorry.
Oh no. It's super windy, so I'm pretty sure that the door to my balcony just blew open.
Because I said like, if you're hearing Sam in the background, that's probably him. That's why you'd be like,
Sorry, too
the whole
close.
breathe. But no
Too
worries.
close. My bad. But yeah,
But-
Ufotable crack.
It's understanding with the whole animation within the whole season. Like me and Sam reacted to the whole season 1, and it was amazing watching of anime and everything else. But it's a wild show. It's a great story. It's very similar to any story that could be done, but it's just Ufotable. Could be people what they said. They could probably put crack in the anime that the eyes
Hey.
are so addicted to it, and
They
the whole
did, it
manga
with, they
story.
did it for Fate. They did it for Fate series. I mean, they did it
Sprinkle
for
it in
Fate.
there. Just sprinkle it all over.
I know, like they knew they didn't have any money for the Fate series, but hey, I mean, they gotta get their money somehow for that movie, like the entire
Hey, they
series.
got out of debt because of Demon Slayer, so they could do anything they want with that show. Like, if they want to continue putting crack on that show, they can, because it will give them money. They will never be in debt again, because right now, that studio is solid right now.
All right, we were facing bankruptcy because of crack, but then let's use crack to get our way get out of this. That's what happened. It did. It worked.
Hey,
Yeah.
if crack don't on crack, so I guess just use it all the time. Shit.
And they're not gonna stop. I mean, they're now known for it now.
They're just gonna keep putting out what they put out, and they're gonna keep making that bread. It's fine. Get that
That's
bank.
fine.
Ain't mad at them.
Just hopefully us in the US, we could watch it in 2021. That's why I hope we could watch it and just get to see it, because I hope to. But overall, I'm excited for 2021, what it brings as a year as a whole. 2020 for most people could be bad or good, but for me, I've been enjoying what anime, manga, comic books have been putting out. Movies, TV shows, and everything else has been enjoyable. It could be a rocky year for anybody, But overall, if you could just find the positive in whatever it is, and if you do content or don't do content, just enjoy what you're doing. That's the best I could say. Because manga and anime has been really striving in 2021, even though a lot of stuff has been pushed, but has been doing a lot of success and will do more success within 2021. Because 2021, Doctor Stone, ReZero, Attack on Titan will be a banger, and more stuff will be coming.
Promised Neverland to
Totally forgot about that series. No
that
lie.
that time I got reincarnated as a slime season 2 and 3.
Slime, I'm excited for itself, but for the Promised Neverland, totally forgot about the series. I feel bad for it, but totally forgot about it. Not in a bad way.
I'm looking forward to it.
I know, but not in a bad way or anything. But I just it's like what Aniki said before. It's like when you have such good series that you are reading and hype for. It's like how a lot of people say One Piece Wano's around the world. It's like when I know Slime is coming out, Attack on Titan, other series, Doctor Stone, and everything, and then I was like, oh yeah, the Promised Neverland. I totally forgot about you. So it's like that series is cool.
It's all hitting you at once that you're not gonna be able to. You might miss one or two of them, and it's just
I could catch you up next season or something. Like I'd rather see something else that I'm hyped for. So that's me. So that's what I'm excited for 21 to see. Very hyped to see it.
I am thankful for the future of what's going to be happening for 2021 for sure. The animes that's coming out, hopefully the manga arcs continuing the series doing the banger. I know I don't know if it's a good thankful for that Attack on Titan will be ending, the manga series is ending next year. I wish it could keep going, but
it's good because when a manga knows when to end, that's beautiful.
Yep.
Because when the manga, Bleach, Naruto, when they know when to end and know how to have a good story, not just because of Shueisha or any other studio company that wants to tell you to continue going, but if you know when to end it because you know your story, that's a good creator. As much as I love One Piece, not saying to end, but he should know not to write the story week by week. He should know when to do it with story and the arcs. That's what I'm saying.
You also got to be thankful for the video games as well.
That's true. It has been a good year for video games.
This year, and then the PS5, Xbox One X.
For anybody that got it, because I know that was a difficult trip for anybody here. So for anybody that got it,
I feel like if you got a PS5, you should have been like commenting in the chat already about how you're grateful for it because.
Oh, they're not talking about the whole new the Spider-Man game, huh? No one's gonna comment and stuff like that.
Yo, Miles Morales, it looks beautiful. I can't wait to play it on Christmas because that's when I have to wait and get my PS5 from my girlfriend. So, Miles Morales is definitely being played day one once I open that. So, can't wait for that. But, Aniki, what are you grateful for 2021? What are you excited to see? Story and the anime?
2021, like, I'm looking forward to the Attack on Titan ending, of course. Hell's Paradise is going to probably be wrapping up next year. So, I'm looking forward to the finish of that. I think like the fallout of the Shibuya incident and Jujutsu Kaisen, what we've dubbed the future Karen arc in My Hero Academia, where the parents come in and they get to talk about how they feel about what's been happening lately. Like that has to be addressed. So there's just honestly like I'm looking forward to the payoff. I think Onigashima in One Piece is gonna like finally get to a stride where I'm like happy with it in these next couple of chapters. So I'm thinking just overall, I'm looking forward to like having a bunch of manga and like being a person who has access to all these titles and like to do so legally and just being able to afford to keep up with like these and to have like my manga collection and have like these art pieces and stuff like that. Just in general, I'm grateful to be in a position where I get to enjoy anime and manga and communicate and express my thoughts on the mediums to the degree that I get to. Whereas I know like a lot of people would love to be able to like do these podcasts, do these shows, or just be able to have, a whole collection for themselves. So I'm very grateful and very understanding of where I am at in my life right now. So I just want to appreciate all of that.
Agree. And also Kishimoto taking over for Boruto manga too.
Oh yeah, I don't know how that's gonna turn out.
Yeah,
that can hit and miss. I'm glad he's back.
Where you going with that? Because I need to first see the first two chapters.
Opportunity, most like it's like I feel like we had opportunity kind of thing. It's like we just see him back.
I have to wait and see the first two chapters that he does to see if he should have been there or not. As much as I could be hype, I enjoy Naruto, whatever it is, but I need to see why you're here. Is there for a reason? Does the story improve? Does the story have a direction? does Naruto die and all this stuff. I need to see execution.
I
That's
think
what
I
I want
feel
to
like
see.
we won't really see that until maybe January after 2 chapters comes out.
I know, that's what I say. Like, I need to
Yeah,
see the
two
first 2 chapters, see
chapters.
where it is.
Yeah, so like till
And
January.
and plus, Dragon Ball Super was good. The most recent chapter was actually entertaining. So that's one thing. See Oob there, hell yeah. Can't wait to see what next week chapter. I mean, next month chapter is, because that's where it goes. Wait, Aniki, you don't like the Oob thing?
I like Oob. It still wasn't enough to make the chapter good for me.
True, but like it was interesting, like just to see that. But it depends where
The arc is not done yet, right?
No,
Or is it?
yes,
It's done.
kinda. It's just right now gonna go on the conclusion arc, like just hey, this how everything turned out. The Earth is saved, like it's just gonna go like. But taking the arc is done. Yeah, the arc is done. So either way, but I think that's about it for our show, right? Sam?
Yeah, like I'm just thankful for the future of our animes, mangas, video game series, everything that's gonna come in the future. Really happy about that.
Oh, and plus for those that don't know or follow our Twitter account, Shonen Ronin is coming back, and Aniki will be doing the Shonen Ronin with us. For those that don't know, that was a show that we tried out in the beginning of the summer, but scheduling and everything like that is hard. But that's why we're growing the brand and growing people. So we're very excited to do Shonen Ronin. We haven't yet said when we'll be starting, either in December or probably January, but we will speak more about that. But we're great. I'm very excited to do Shonen Ronin, talk about Under Unlock and Masha and other series, right, Aniki?
Yep. Talk about the ones that aren't as appreciated. Give them consistent audiences and discussions. I'm here for it.
Awesome.
For sure.
So Aniki, Sam, we good for plugs now?
Yeah, we good for plugs. Aniki, can you give us your plugs?
Man, it's Aniki Smash FSP, same thing on like all platforms now. I forgot to tell you guys, I actually like fixed my Twitter so that they all say the same thing now.
Nice.
I've been
So,
curious to
yeah,
know, what does FSP stand for? I like, out of all the years I've known you, well, this year, but out of the time I've known you, I never knew.
Okay, so FSP stands for Force Squad Productions. The Force Squad was the name of my friend's group back in high school, where we became Force Squad because the term forcing it became really popularized. So we were a squad of people who specialized in forcing it. So like the productions was like we were going to do like YouTube videos and stuff like that. So I just always slapped FSP on anything going forward for like these past like 10, 12 years. It's always been like FSP Force Squad representing, like my friends from high school, which is why like my buddy was like, oh, you got to get the tattoo. And I was like, bro, FSP is literally all over the internet now. Like,
That's dope.
even if I never get a tattoo, I tattooed it into people's hearts. So like, I want to hear it.
That's beautiful. That's dope as hell.
So yeah, like a lot of my friends are still to this day like my friends, and in fact, depending on like if you see the right Twitter interactions, you can actually figure out who's known me for like the past 10 years and would actually know about Force Squad and who wouldn't. So
that's dope. I'm glad to know, because I've been always wondering, but I just took the chance to ask. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah. My name as a concept is like, because like in addition to that, I was like Lieutenant Smash of the Force Squad.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's where the Smash comes from, not from my hero. And then like Aniki is because my mom had like 7 kids after me, so I was always like a big like doing the big brother thing. And then I was even doing it like in a lot of my friendship dynamics. So I was like, all right, well my channel is gonna be like anime and manga related, so I'll just like switch in Aniki instead of Lieutenant, so you get like an idea of like the kind of person that I am. And like then you immediately think, oh, this is like an anime manga channel. Then it's like the Smash FSP is like the friendships and all that other stuff. So it's like you just bring it all together. Boom. It's like everything that like I am as like a person for the most part, like right there, but you just wouldn't know it unless you ask.
Oh.
Cool.
Interesting that. So I guess for me on my end, follow me everywhere at Legendy Vash on Twitter, IG, everywhere. And thank you guys for tuning in for this special episode with JD Legend and Aniki Smash. Don't forget to follow Ray, James down below in the description and below is where is their handles, their links, everything is in the description. Like Sam's have it all organized, so definitely check those links out. Sam, take us away.
Guys, you can follow me at Sam the Manga Man and all my social medias. We thank you guys for watching. We guys hope you have a great Thanksgiving, safe with your families. Hope you always have a good one. Peace.
Take care.
Bye. And
Yep.